It's Tiny Town time. These aren't follow along builds. This is just for fun, just to be cozy and creative, and hopefully to spark your imagination. Welcome back to Grandma Sims. It is Tiny Town time, and we are on our last NPC. I think I saved the best for last. This is Grimm's house. Grimm, I always knew when it came to building Tiny Town, his house was going to be right back center. So when you walk up to Tiny Town, he's what you see. I think of Grimm as he's the HOA leader of this little tiny town. He keeps all the other ones in check, and I think he needed a proper home for that. I also imagine that this home for Grimm is, maybe the home he had when he was still alive, just maybe in a little bit of a darker state than it was back in the day. But since becoming Grimm and getting that job, he's redecorated. And this is how I imagine he would see his home. This is kind of a unique home in that you enter upstairs and then stairs inside the home bring you down into this level. The lower level, what we're looking at here, this is his bedroom, bathroom. I want to say office. I'll have to check and make sure, but pretty sure. But then upstairs, when you first come in, you're greeted right here in his dining room and his kitchen. And then off to the side over here is going to be his living room. There is a desk with a computer going in here. I think just a wonderful build for Grimm. I think he can have a cozy home just like everybody else. Originally, I was going to put the kitchen right over here, and you're going to see we're going to move that. I did use a lot of his stuff from what I consider his pack. The cabinets are absolutely beautiful. They are some of my favorites. I always want to use them in all my other builds, and I sometimes I feel like they're maybe a little too macabre for that, but I think that's a me thing, and I think that's something I need to get over with, because these are beautiful cabinets, and I think I'm going to make a point in a future build to use these more often. So this is where his desk is going to be, and when I did a playthrough with Grimm here in his home, he loves his desk and computer. I think every time I looked, he's on the computer playing games. So now we know what Grimm does on his off time in his little house here. I thought maybe he'd be doing some HOA business on the computer, but nope, he's playing games. So I love building in black. I'm hoping that you watched our series on our all black house. That house turned out amazing. If you didn't, please go check it out. I will leave a link up above for that, so you can go check those out. Black, to me, it's not dark or dreary. I think it's a beautiful color. It's actually all colors are in black, so it's not the absence of color, it's it's an explosion of color, actually, which I absolutely love. So again, using all the stuff from his pack. This first welcoming sight when you come in these doors is his dining room, welcoming you in. Come in, have something to eat. He is actually a very good host, I found out. and he likes having people here. So, his friends from the neighborhood. And I think that's great. He doesn't need to eat or do any of those things like some of the other NPCs, but he's a very gracious host when it comes to providing for them while they're visiting. I went with some candlelight here. I think that helps a lot. Set the vibe, set the atmosphere in the house. I know it might not be everybody's thing, the black, but I'm very excited about it. So let me know. I hope you like this build. I hope you like all of the NPC builds, and just let me know down below which was your favorite NPC in these builds. And we still have a community center coming up for all of them, so you can let me know about those too. You can let me know about their community center. Which part of Tiny Town was your favorite? Love this old rug. I think I way overused this rug, but I love it. It has such, it has charm. It looks like it has a history. And I imagine his living room here. This is where Grim is, he has this more modern, vibey furniture, which I love for him. But I imagine the other Tiny Towners coming around. He's got HOA business that he's got to do. He's got to get the tragic clown to clean up his yard. The flower bunny has got to stop dropping seed packets everywhere, all over Tiny Town. He's got to keep a tight leash on them sometimes. They can get out of control if he doesn't. So I imagine this, them having their meetings here in this living room. Put the crow in. I have not played with the crow yet. I'm really looking forward to doing that. I just haven't had a build or a playthrough that I would need the crow for, but since I have started a Let's Play, and you can find that on my channel, I think one of them, one of the generations that we're going to be getting into, I should be able to have the crow, and that'll be great, because I'm looking forward to playing with the bird. I always kind of wanted a bird growing up, but I went to some people's house and they had a bird. It was one of those big white macaw birds. Very cool thing. And yeah, they had poop all over their house. So, yep, the bird was very cool. I can't say to their living arrangements with the bird, but after I saw that, I was like, I don't think I want a bird flying around my house, pooping on everything. I mean, maybe that's not how it really works. Maybe there's a different way to have a bird. I have such, my OCD. I'd be running around cleaning up after that bird all the time. So, it's bad enough they poop on my car, much less in my house. And so, no bird for me, but I admire them and I love them. I'm pretty sure there's got to be a better way to do the bird thing, but anyway, very cool bird. So I'm looking forward to playing with this bird. So Grim has been around, I believe since the beginning. If you look at his profile, it actually says that he's a young adult, so kind of feel a little bad for Grim. He must have passed at a young age. and that makes it kind of sad. But I do think he's made the most of it. He does make friends. And I know you can move him into... I think you can. You can move him into your household. And now with the new pack, Life and Death, we all get a chance to, be a part of his world. Finally, we get to be, be grim and reap souls. And I think that's an important job. I don't find it eerie or anything like that. It's important. Without it, where would everybody go? So down here, you saw we almost finished upstairs. We will be back up there in a minute. But down here is his bedroom. It's a grand bedroom. It's big. It's spacious. And it has all the comforts he could ever want in here. This big grandfather clock I thought was perfect. I actually can imagine being in this room and the grandfather clock striking the hour and hearing that, tone going off. Maybe not so much when you're sleeping, but Grim doesn't sleep, so it's okay. He doesn't actually use this room, but I think at some point in time he did when he grew up here, when he lived here. Actually maybe this was his parents' bedroom and now it's his, and it has meaning for him. And I think that's great. So really just kind of decked out this room with everything that I could find to make it just super cozy. It doesn't have to be dreary. I mean, even these dark colors, it doesn't have to be, sad. It can actually be a happy place too. I put the blackout curtains in, and you would think, oh, she's putting blackout curtains in because it's grim and blah, blah, blah. No, I put blackout curtains in because I have them in my own bedroom. I have blackout curtains. I'm one of those people who can't sleep if there's any light in the room. So I have blackout curtains. I think they're great in the bedroom. I use mine, and once in a while, Reggie will walk along. He'll get behind the curtains and he'll walk along the windowsill, and that kind of moves the curtains out of the way, and then there'll be this one little spot, that spot, and the sun shines right there, and it happens to be right in the perfect spot to hit my eyeball in the morning. So, and I think he knows it because he will do that, and then he'll look back at me and he'll see that I open my eyes, and then he thinks, oh, okay, it's breakfast. And I'm like, yeah, you little stinker. So I think he knows. He knows. He's a smart boy. That if he moves those curtains, he's going to wake Mom up and he's going to get some breakfast. It doesn't always work, but I would say 98% of the time it works. So I use this bathroom from Vampires just because I thought it fit the vibe of this house more than any other bathroom fixtures that we have. This, maybe old Victorian vibe in this bathroom. I thought that fit in this house, and I love putting the red in this bathroom. I have no red in my house or in my life, which is very odd, but I love the color red. Not my favorite color, because my favorite color is green, but I love the accent of red. When I start decorating for Halloween, in fact, this weekend coming up, which is finally the first weekend in October, and I get to decorate for Halloween. That's the rule around here. My husband says I cannot decorate until it's officially October. Spoil sport that he is. But lot of red in my Halloween decorations. Lots of blood, lots of skulls, lots of, yeah, I like it dark and mysterious for my Halloween decorations. My pumpkins aren't of the nice variety. They're of the creepy variety. So, again, not a room that Grim would need to use because he doesn't need to go to the bathroom. But if you have company over, when they come for their meetings or their gatherings, or if they're just hanging out, you know, some of the other NPCs, they need to go to the bathroom. And I did say in one of our other videos here in Tiny Town that you can always, all of these tiny townhouses, they are, you know, they can be separated away from Tiny Town, and you can use just Grim's house, or just Robyn Bank's bank, as a tiny house, you know, for your own Sims. You don't have to keep it here in Tiny Town. And so, of course, if you're going to use this house, you know, in some other capacity that's not Tiny Town, I wanted it to have everything that any Sim would need, not just the NPCs here in Tiny Town. So that's what I did. Otherwise, I could just made a house with a blank room, because technically, Grim didn't need anything. He just floats around. But I imagine him different. I do. Love this desk set. I thought this went perfect in this room. And I know it's a little dark and a little hard to see, but the walls are, if you look under the light, the walls in front of his desk are this like deep burgundy color. And then over here by the fireplace is a stone. And I thought these went very good together for an office. This very rich burgundy in the office. And I love that these life and death furnishings went perfectly in here. This is the most awesome office. I'm adding more lighting, so now you can actually see this burgundy on the wall, which is really great. Trying to add some more of these things from Life and Death. I love this pack. I love the items in this pack. It gives such an awesome vibe. Just the age of the furniture. Look at the age of this chair. It looks like he's been sitting in that chair for a very long, not all in one sitting, but I'm like, for years he's been using this chair to sit at this desk. And the chair is worn in just all the right places. I love that about this chair. I love that about this furniture. Adding more little decorations and things. He gets to be just as cozy as everybody else. So now that we're finishing up Grim's house, the last couple things we're going to do here is we're going to build them a community center. And that's coming up after this one with Grim, so next week. And then after that, we are finally going to go back and we are going to landscape all of Tiny Town. And we're going to get it wrapped up. And it turned out amazing. You're going to love it. So remember to hit that subscribe button there, like, and follow along as we finish up Tiny Town. And don't forget, at Grandma Sims, keep it creative, keep it cozy, and I'll see you next time.